Welcome back to the Doug and Commish Show, actually the Doug and Chapman Show for this Week 4 preview. And we'll get right to the games. We're going to see if we can squeeze as many in as we can, as we are limited with our bedtimes for the big games for the week. We've got the 1-2 Doughboy versus the 0-3 Nappy. Nappy really has a pretty good matchup for Maurice Jones-Drew, and I anticipate him having a very big day on Sunday. But my big question to you being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and an insider, Mendenhall is going up against the Ravens. What do you think he gets point-wise?
Well, I think he has to remember that Ray Lewis broke his collarbone last time they played in his rookie season. He bounced back last year, so that's always got to be going in his mind. I love the Ravens smash mouth D, and so I don't think he has a great game, even all things considered.
Now, last week Peyton Hillis went against the Ravens, and he was able to get 20-plus points in the Ravens. And I'll be honest with you, I think I'd rather have Mendenhall. But do you think he gets 20 points, Mendenhall?
I don't see 20 in Mendenhall. I mean, he put up, 20 against the Bucks last week?
Yep.
And I just don't see that happen again. The Steelers' front line is getting better, but it's not good enough, I don't think, to manhandle the Ravens.
All right, we also have, on the Doughboy side of things, he's got Vic going against Washington. Should be a pretty good game. I think Vic's going to be pretty amped up for that with the Donovan McNabb thing going on. But his other matchup that I was kind of wondering about, with Andre Johnson kind of being on the questionable, do you think Kevin Walters' value goes up or Jacoby Jones' value goes up? Who would you rather have?
Well, for me, I'd rather have Jacoby Jones since he's on my roster. But Kevin Walters, he stole the touchdown last week, and I'm hoping that Jacoby Jones, it's his week this week, but either of those guys are going to get the passes. I think they're equal players. It just depends on who gets the touchdown that week.
All right, so who in this matchup, 0-3, 1-2, who would you go ahead and take?
I really see it as Nappy getting his first victory, maybe 91-79. I think a Doughboy's going to have a hard time scoring points. He's going to hope Vic scores 40.
Mm-hmm. I, too, will take Nappy to get his first victory of the year. Moving on, we got the Nips versus Jockey. Jockey has Dustin Keller going against Buffalo and Santana Moss going against Philadelphia, two matchups that we kind of highlighted during the break. What do you think of those?
I love Moss running with Donovan McNabb. I think his career is about to take off a little bit better than what he's been doing in Washington, and I think McNabb's got something to prove. I think he could have a big day with Santana.
Now, if Benson plays, I think Jockey has obviously a better chance of winning, but he's got Bernard Scott as the handcuff, so he should be okay either way if the last-minute change takes place.
Yeah, he'll be good.
Nips has Drew Brees against Carolina. But he also has Brandon Jackson against Detroit. Brandon Jackson did not look that good last week, to the point where Kuhn got a lot of carries.
I think Kuhn's going to be taking a lot of those carries. He was the more dominant runner. I mean, he was running even when he was tackled.
Yeah.
So
you got to let me ask you this. Do you think Brandon Jackson gets 10 or more points against Detroit this weekend?
It's the Lions, so anything's possible with any running back. But I think the front four of the Lions will shut down the Packers running game. Okay,
now he has Willis McGahee as well. Nips does. But do you think, would you fill him in to take maybe Brandon Jackson's spot if Ray Rice doesn't play? He is playing the Steelers.
It's not a bad. I mean, I look, if Chris Johnson can't get 10 points against the Steelers, I don't know how Willis McGahee is going to get 10 points.
Now, hopefully he won't break his leg on national TV as he's done in the past. That always seems to be a painful one. Anyway, in this matchup, Jockey versus Nips, who do you got?
I really like Nips in this one to kind of pull it off, maybe 97, 92. It's going to be a close game in there, but I think Nips goes on a little bit of a winning streak, 2 games.
I'm going to go with Jockey, but that might be changing by Sunday the more and more I spend on these matchups. We got Sass versus the Toilet Town next. Toilet Town has Aaron Rodgers versus Detroit. Over under of 30.
I think you got to go over 30. I mean, other than Brett Favre, I think every quarterback prior to Brett Favre scored over 30 points against the Lions.
Yep.
So I think you got to go over 30. Aaron Rodgers is the man.
Yep. He's got Anquan Bolden against Pittsburgh. Troy Polamalu searching around. Let's just not forget that Anquan Bolden isn't afraid to go up the middle, broken jaw and all, But he's got to have the Palomalo in the back of his mind every time he's running through the middle.
Yeah, I like Anquan Bolden against the Steelers' defense. Their secondary, I mean, their defense is obviously solid, but they don't really have a corner that's going to stay with Anquan Bolden. I think if Joe Flacco gets the time, he'll find Anquan enough to get him enough points.
Mike Sims-Walker continues to be inconsistent, but this would be his week that he scores big points. He's gone every other week. This is the 4th week, and week 2 he had 30+. Do you think he gets more than 15 this week?
Mike Sims-Walker, yeah. I mean, I think they're going to be throwing. They're going to be down.
They're going to be down against
They're going to be down big, so I think they'll be throwing a lot.
All right. On SAS, he's got Brady versus Miami. He loves him some Tom Brady. But he's also got Frank Gore against Atlanta. Atlanta gives up a decent amount of running points to opposing running backs. So what do you think there with Gore?
I like the matchup there with Gore. I still think the Atlanta defense is pretty solid though. So I think in my mind I see Gore, just having another decent day, 16 points, maybe 18 points. Nothing, amazing though. I don't think he's going for 30 or nothing.
Now let's talk about a sensitive issue. SAS has Braylon Edwards on his team, and Rex Ryan didn't have the character enough to go ahead and sit Braylon Edwards down for the whole drunk driving incident. SAS is a Michigan slappy. We know that. I obviously am wearing some maize tonight. But do you think SAS needs to step it up and put Braylon on the bench to send a message to the fans of the GFO and the fans of the SAS to just say, you know what, drunk driving isn't acceptable in my eyes either. Do you think he should sit Braylon Edwards?
Maybe last week was the week to take care of that. Mm-hmm. I don't think we throw character and SAS in the same pool.
That's a good point.
So I think SAS is going to, continue to be who he is, and I think he likes the fact that Braylon Edwards, although may not be the best role model, will win games for him. So I think that's what SAS is ultimately about.
I'll tell you what I'm really glad about is after he got in trouble with the drunk driving, he finally shaved off that ridiculous beard that Braylon Edwards was walking around with. I mean, even sure Santa was ashamed of that beard. It was terrible.
I'm not sure what that was.
So anyway, we'll be right back with the other match. Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you going to take in this matchup?
Oh, I got the Toilet Town starting a streak.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull it up 2 games.
Nothing like a streaky toilet.
That's right.
I'm going to go with actually SAS on this one. I think that Braylon Edwards and Tom Brady and Frank Gore will lead the way for a SAS victory, and Toilet will go back to his toilety ways. So we'll be right back with our next set of matchups for Week 4.